Let's see how easily we can design a kitchen like this in ADeko without going too much into details. Our first step will be to define which customer we are doing this project for. You'll notice that after installing ADeko, a shortcut for Casa is also added to the desktop. Casa helps keeping track of projects by storing and grouping them on a client basis. Let's run Casa. To add a new customer, first we have to click New. We have to enter a name for our client and click on Save. We can fill out the rest of the details for our customer later. Now let's examine the Documents tab. Everything from photorealistic renders to projects and the bills will be saved here if we run ADeko from a customer's Documents tab. As each customer has its own Documents tab, this helps us to remember which file belongs to which customer. Now let's run ADeko. As I run the program from the client's documents, I will now need to enter the project's name in advance. Let's name this project. Before we begin, let's examine the general layout of the ADeko screen. Area in the middle is where we will do our drawings. On the upper side of the left area, we have commands for drawing the workspace. On the right side, we have commands for kitchen design. On the upper right side stands the commands for viewing the project, and on the upper left side, we have commands related to the project itself. The undo and redo buttons on top can be used infinitely, so you don't need to panic if you made a mistake when drawing your project. Let's begin with creating a room from our templates. Clicking on the Room button opens a window with our collection of templates. Let's choose here an L-shaped room. Let's say the left side wall is 300 centimeters and the top wall is 400 centimeters. When I click on Draw, the program will draw the walls automatically. To change our viewpoint, let's click on the Perspective button on the upper side. Mouse wheel moves the camera forwards and backwards. Let's move back a bit. And let's adjust the view by moving the mouse around while Ctrl and left mouse button are pressed. Now let's add a column on the corner of the room. To do that, first we will click on the column button, move the outline to the corner, and click to place it there. Here we can tune the placement by changing the values, and when we click on OK, the program will draw the column. By clicking the Shade button here, we can color the scene. This view uses our patented graphical engine to simulate reflections and shadows close to rendering quality. As you can see in this scene, when lights are set up properly, we can create scenes close to rendering quality. As the graphics in this mode is sufficient enough, most of our users don't even need to use our render feature. Now let's add a window on the right wall. Click on the Window button and move the window's outline to mark the wall where we want to place it. After clicking on the wall, we can edit the values in our new window to tune our position and change the window dimensions. Let's move the window to the center of the room. And let's also choose the window style we want to use. Let's choose this one. As a cosmetic addition, we can also choose a landscape to be seen beyond the window. And also, we can add some curtains here as well. When we are ready, we click OK and the program will place the window. Now our kitchen is ready for placing cabinets. Let's use our automatic kitchen command to let the program design a kitchen for us. Here in this window, we can define certain rules for the kitchen design, such as the distance between the fridge and the oven, and if we place their symbols on the drawing, the maximum distance between the water outlet and the sink, or between the vent and the chimney hole. Let's just accept the default values for now and click on OK. When the program finishes designing a kitchen, it will ask us if we liked it. If we click on No, it will create another design and ask us again. It will keep on redesigning until it finds a design we like. Let's assume we like this design. However, this doesn't mean this design is final. We can still make some changes to it. For example, let's replace this wide base unit and the sink. When we click on a unit, it will turn red to show that it is selected. From the right-click menu, selecting the Delete option removes it from our workspace. We can also delete an item with the Delete button on the keyboard when an item is selected. First, let's check how wide a unit we need to fill this space with now. We can see it better from the front view. To switch the front view, we need to click on the front view button on top. If we pay attention to the command line below, program now asks us which unit or wall we want to see from the front. Let's choose this one. Now let's click on the Fast Dimensioner button. Fast Dimensioner automatically measures the empty spaces between the units. As we can see, there is an 85 cm space left here now. Let's place a 70 cm unit there and move the other units right to align with it. By clicking the Unit button here, we can examine the unit library. Let's go to the base units at top. Let's choose the 70 cm unit. When we click Insert, our cursor will change the unit's outline. With this outline, we can control the placement position. When we hover the mouse over another unit, we can see that the program aligns its position with the unit we are hovering over. Clicking on the left part of the fridge will place our unit right next to it. Now let's move the other units. When the unit we want to move is selected, from the right-click menu, we can choose Move Unit to change our cursor to the unit's outline. There is also a shortcut for this. To do that, first we will select a unit and then left-click again. Let's widen this shelf unit. Selecting Define on the right-click menu will open up a new window. Here we can define a unit's properties. Let's add 15 more centimeters to its width. Now as we widened this unit, we technically made a new unit out of an old one. So let's change the unit's code to avoid any confusion. When we click Insert, the program will change the unit in our workspace to match the changes we did. Now let's switch back to perspective view and choose a new sink for our kitchen. The Furnishing button here will open up a window where we can see a list of various items we can add to our design. Under the kitchen sink group, we have a collection of sinks we can choose from. Let's select one. Now the program will ask us to choose a sink unit to commit the placement. Let's choose this one. After it is placed, we can flip the sink's position by clicking on Flip. When we click OK, we finalize our placement. We can also change units to have a glass door and use glass shelves in the Define menu. Let's change the bottom door for this wall unit. This part on the right lists the divisions of the selected unit from top to bottom. Clicking on a number next to the division will open a window with that division's properties. As we want to change the bottom door for this unit, we need to click on this. Here we will change the door type to glass open up, and under the shelf section we will select the glass shelf. When we click OK, it will apply our changes for this division, and when we click Insert, it will change the unit in our workspace. Now that we are satisfied with the positions of our units, let's change the general door design. Clicking on the cabinet door model, we can look through a selection of door designs. I'm a classic type of guy, so I'll be choosing a classic design for my kitchen doors. However, you can find modern designs like self-handled or aluminum framed doors here as well. Double-clicking on a door will apply it to all the doors in our kitchen. Changing the handle models are done from the handle model menu here, and it works pretty much the same way. Now it's time to choose color and materials for our kitchen. Rendering settings button here opens a catalog of materials. Most of the commercially available materials are already here in this catalog. However, if you can't find what you're looking for, you can also add your own materials too. Now let's choose one. Make sure you have set the layer option selected and double-click the material of your choice. Now clicking on a unit's door will change all the doors in our kitchen with that material. The right mouse button repeats the last action made, so let's get back to the materials catalog with the right mouse button. Set to Object option will apply the selected material only to the selected item. Let's select a different material and try it out. As you can see, this time our choice affects only the selected doors. To change them back, let's go back to the catalog. Make sure we have set the Object option selected again, as we want to erase the materials we applied with this option. Double-click on the Remove command and select the doors. Let's also change the ceramic tilings. It works pretty much the same way. From the top-down menu on the right side, let's go to where the ceramic tilings are grouped. Make sure we have set the layer option selected and double-click on material of our choice. Now we'll just point to the tilings and click there. We can assign materials to pretty much everything in ADeko like this. Now that our design is done, we can add some little decorations to it. Let's click on the Lighting Elements button. And here, double-click on the Unit Spotlight. Now by selecting units, we can add spotlights right under them. And we are done. Let's save the project now. You might notice the program didn't ask us where to save it. It is because we ran the program from Casa. Now let's close the program. You can see that our drawing is now inside John Doe's profile. We can now run this project from here. From this project, we can now extract reports like bills, manufacturing reports, cut lists, etc. For reports, we can click on the sub icon to view the manufacturing menu. If we are using standard modular kitchen cabinets from our unit library without altering any of their dimensions, the modular bill option here helps us get a bill easily. Now the program asks us where to save the bill. And again, as you can see on top, Casa directs our default save directory to our customer's documents. The bill report is in spreadsheet format and will open automatically with the program you have on your computer for those files. I use LibreOffice, so it is opened there. We can reach this bill again from the Documents tab of John Doe's profile in Casa. If our client has agreed to our bill, it's time to take a door list report to place an order for the doors. Again, we will go to the manufacturing menu and from here choose the door list option. In this report, we can see the measurements and properties for all the doors we used in our project. Now that we have placed the order for our doors, we can send the measurements for the unit bodies and cut list to our workshop. In the manufacturing report, we can see the outer dimensions for the worktops and all the units we have in our project. The outer dimensions for the units also include their notches if there are any. As you can see here. Now let's also extract a cutting list. In this list, we can see the size of the panels we need to cut from each material. We can group this list by material from the Excel sheets at the bottom. If a panel needs to be covered with a PVC edge strip, this list will show the thickness of the edge strip under the area for its location. Also, under the groove list, it will state the position a groove should be opened on the panel if there is a need for one. Requirement list gives us a list of all the items and operations we need for this project, from wood panels to screws, dowels, minifix kits, notching operations, etc. Up next is the pricing reports. Each item has three types of price defined in the program. These are cost, retail, and wholesale prices. These three buttons are needed to extract pricing reports for each of them. Project cost report shows how much each unit cost us as the manufacturer. If you have resellers using ADeko, this report will not be available to them. They will only see the following reports that give them the selling prices. Project Price 1 gives a bill for wholesale, and Project Price 2 gives the bill for our retail sales. The final three buttons are related to exporting of the project to CNC machines. Technical Drawing of Parts button gives us a technical drawing for all the panels used in our project. In these drawings, we can see the panel sizes, hole and groove diameters, and PVC edge strip locations. The PVC edge strip locations are marked in red, and the groove locations are marked in blue. We can export all this information to CAM programs on CNC machines with the manufacturing DXF button. These files contain cutting and drilling instructions for CAM programs on CNC machines. Lastly, Optimic button sends the project we drew directly to the optimization program Optimic.